great to be in touch with you again. And I just want to remind you that the purpose of this platform is for us to share stories, life-changing stories, that has got the potential to transform our hearts and our minds. Today I've got the privilege to have a discussion with Charmaine Nagel, who shared a story with us in one of the transformational sessions that we had. In our session, we specifically spoke about inclusion and exclusion, and Charmaine just shared her story with us there, and that day, something changed in my own heart. So Charmaine, welcome, and thank you for your willingness just to open up and share your story with us.
Thanks for having me, Krista.
Take us back to what you shared with us that day in the group.
Firstly, I want to explain why I shared that story. I felt as though there was so much tension and we weren't getting to a middle ground. Mm-hmm. And it seemed as though everyone or certain people felt as though they were being blamed for certain situations. And I just got to a point where I needed everyone to realize that this, whatever it is that we're going through, at some point or the other, we've all gone through it. Mm. And if we could all relate at some level, we would be able to actually come to common ground. Mm. So the story I told at the lot, the conversations we were having while we were at lot, brought me back to my childhood when I was growing up. When I was growing up, I basically went to what was previously known as a Model C school. Mm-hmm. When I started in primary school there was the ratio of white to African was 80%, 80% being 80-20, 80% being white and 20% being African. So majority of my friends naturally were white, and we would engage with each other on all sorts of levels. We would go to sleepovers, attend parties. We got to a point where we went to high school. Mm-hmm. A lot of us went to the same high school together. First term in high school, we were still fine, but then I realized that we started drifting apart as friends. But now we didn't have any major fallouts and we just disintegrated into different groups. But when I looked around, these groups were actually racially inclined. Nobody actually told my friends that we are of different race, but they have seen it and they have heard it. The same way I would hear and see certain actions from my parents regarding different races. So when you're sitting around the dinner table and having that conversation with your adult friends about the other race, how bad they are, all these negative connotations and negative relations that you have to that race, your kids are playing around that area, but they're absorbing this information. As you are a parent, your child looks up to you. They want to be you at some point. They want to make you proud. So more likely than not, they will basically mimic or try to act out what you do. Then comes the whole superiority and the inferiority conversation. I might feel inferior because of the things that I've heard from my parents about white people, because they might be of the opinion that they are superior because of how they were previously oppressed. But I don't own that as my own. And that's how I had to separate myself from my mom's experiences and to my own experiences. But then I realized that it's a process. Yeah. And with this process comes a lot of intentional actions and a lot of conscious thinking for the next person, you know, because at the end of the day, if you don't make that effort, then none of us are going to change. Mm-hmm. And the change starts with you as an individual, making that conscious decision that you don't want your child to be subjected to such, so you will kind of be that example to your child so that they are open to all of this.
Do I model the right values in my family? Do I prepare my children when they go out into the outside world to engage with an increasingly globalized and diverse culture, whether they are at university, at school, and so on. Because what I say around the dinner table shape their outlook when they go outside in the street. And because Dad says this about certain people, you know, one time my baby girl, she's not a baby anymore, she's 27 years old. So he told me, Dad, shut up, you're a closet racist. I made just some passing remark on something I saw on the news. Be careful what we say in front of our children. It shapes the outlook towards life.